my friends. Welcome back to Yee-Haw, a Bonanza podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, and today we are watching Season 1, Episode 15, The Last Hunt. I am ready to go. I just finished baking and eating a delicious spaghetti chicken dinner. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I cook a mean spaghetti dinner, and it was quite delicious, but it is 6:30 p.m. and I am ready to watch some Bonanza. Today's episode, like I said, is The Last Hunt. This episode was written by Donald S. Sanford, David Dortort, and Fred Hamilton. This episode was directed by Christian Nyby. It premiered December 29th, 1959. One day short of my birthday, darn. Its special guests were Chana Eden, Raymond Bailey, Victor Sen Young, Steve Tarell, and Carlyle Mitchell. The episode description on IMDB is: Joe and Hoss shelter a pregnant Indian from a blizzard, and the Shoshones ordered to find her. Before we continue, I would just like to say a huge thank you to all of my new followers, especially if you have subscribed to my brand new YouTube channel for this podcast. I appreciate all 19 of you so far. Hopefully we can grow this podcast much more over this next year, but I am so excited to even have 19 people listening on YouTube. So if you're one of those 19 people on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing and engaging with this podcast. Like I said last week, the podcast is not only on YouTube for you to enjoy, as well as your favorite podcasting streaming service, but you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at yeehawbonanzapod. Or you can email me with any thoughts or questions at yeehawbonanzapod@gmail.com. Super grateful for your engagement in the comment section on YouTube, for your emails, and for the positive Apple Podcast reviews so far. Those really make my day, and I love hearing what you guys think of the show. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to y'all before we get too deep into today's episode, tripping over my words. Okay, so a couple notable things about today's episode. The guest cards have disappeared again. I don't know what's going on, but we're winging it week by week. Some weeks we know who the guest stars are, and then other weeks we have no guest stars at all. So we're just gonna wing it from here on out. If there was a guest star in this episode, I guess it's Chana Eden as the Native American woman, but she didn't really have a speaking part. Like she just gave a rather silent performance, but if you look at her IMDb page, she is an actress from Poland. She is best known for The Rifleman, another great Western series that I watched growing up, Wind Across the Everglades, and the show Peter Gunn. You know what's funny is I've never watched Peter Gunn, but I know that theme song because it is such a banger. For those of you who don't know it, it's the it goes anyway. But that's I hope you enjoyed that. That's what she's known for, and it also says that she's known for a TV series called Richard Diamond Private Detective. So that's a little bit on Chana Eden. Let's see. Yeah, not a ton to talk about before today's episode. On the box set, they had some lovely outside shots of Dan Blocker and Michael Landon just standing in the scenery in those super awesome jackets, I might add. I miss those jackets. They are so cool looking. They're so stylish. And then you have some pictures of Chana Eden walking through the snow, carrying the baby on her back. And there's a couple pictures of Chana Eden like in a doctor's office. I know that's going to sound really weird, but it looks like she's getting treated for an injury on her leg. And then there's like a picture of her sitting like in like an examination room or something. And she's just sitting on the table, and there are a couple shots of her. I don't know what the context is for that. The DVD didn't give any context, but those were some random pictures. They also had a couple of nice outside shots during the end scene of the funeral. So you have Purnell, Mike, Dan, Lorne, Victor Sen Young. And again, those jackets, there's a great picture on here of Dan Blocker, and he's standing in his extremely stylish jacket. I loved that costume. But if you want to see the pictures, highly recommend getting the box set. It's just a nice little treat to be able to see all of this extra stuff. But short intro today. I think we're ready to watch this episode, The Last Hunt. This one's actually a very nice episode. I really, really enjoyed revisiting this. So pull up your copy of the episode and let's get into it. Okay. Okay, we are hitting play in 3, 2, 1, go. Very loud. These jackets are fabulous. I miss these jackets, man. They are so stylish. I know they had to find their main character outfits, but I do miss the wardrobe changes. And Little Joe looked good in blue. I like that blue checkered jacket. Joe, chill out, man. Joe has a fierce temper. I love this. Aw, I love how Haas can lighten the mood with a joke. And then Joe warms up to it too. Just goes to show you the Haas really is the heart and soul of Bonanza. I just don't know if Bonanza would work as well if Haas wasn't there. There's such a warmth about the character. Like, I can't picture it just being Adam and Little Joe. It's like you need Haas to bridge that gap. Haas and Joe and Adam, no. Da, 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 da. My dad, he sings the Lorne Green version of Bonanza. And when I first started revisiting Bonanza in 2023, when I was watching it, he'd come into the room and he'd go, Haas and Joe and Adam, no. And I'd be like, are you making this up? And he goes, no, there's a Lorne Green version where he sings that. And then he showed me Lorne Green's album, and I became obsessed. Man, Joe was ready for that. It's a pretty good effect. Sound of that is incredibly satisfying. I love that too. Like, they immediately jump into action once she comes into their camp, but once they find out that she's a woman, their demeanor immediately changes. It's very sweet. It's immediate to caring. Dang, look at that shot. God, Michael Landon is so young in this show. I'm so used to him as Pa on Little House. Did he just eat the snow? I did not catch that. Oh my gosh, that's funny. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Michael Landon, it's so strange to see him this young because my whole upbringing was just like watching him as Pa Ingalls. Also, I kind of love those bird calls between them. It's fabulous. I did not realize that Joe took that big of a bite of the snow. This episode's really nice because you get to see the interplay between Haas and Little Joe, how their characters relate to each other when they're put in a very specific situation, and how that dynamic unfolds. Kind of like the hanging posse with Adam and Little Joe. Only I would say that this episode's a bit more casual and maybe a bit more slow. It's not as action based, but I really like it because of that. Like it takes a slower pace, and I think that you're able to hang out with the characters a little bit more intimately because of it. Little Joe, come to my house. I'll make you some of my famous spaghetti, and that way you don't have to eat any cattle fodder. I wonder what that actually is, though. What did they put in those bowls for them? It's just like really gross looking noodles. Wow, she put on a full face of makeup before she woke up. She did her eyebrows and her eyeliner's looking great. Can we talk about how sweet Hoss and Little Joe are being, though? Like, Hoss particularly is so nurturing and loving. So sweet. Eat the cattle fodder. I actually like seeing Haas in this role as like, I don't want to say he parents little Joe, but there is that distinction that he is older, like he has more experience, like he takes more control of the situation. And I know in episodes and in future episodes he gets roped into little Joe's shenanigans, but I really like him in this, like the older brother role, maybe closer to a bit more of how Adam's character is. It's like the two older brothers just having a little bit more wisdom and experience, while Joe is still very young and naive in a lot of ways. I really love this interplay, this character interplay and dynamic. It's more of an intimate look at the characters, less focused on action, more focused on intimate dialogue. So weird, but Michael Landon reminds me so much of my dad. Something about his mannerisms. Like I was saying before, my primary viewing when it came to Michael Landon was in Little House, and we associated him with our dad so closely. It's just like his aura. It's very strange. Maybe it's the hair. Joe. Haas is like, "Are you high?" Dad gummit. Blasted. This is a really good episode for just their character distinctions, the differences between how Haas and Little Joe handle situations like this. And I think it displays Haas's resourcefulness as a character. He's very focused, can handle himself well in situations like this. Take charge. This is so cute because I think Haas's character delivers quite a few babies over the course of the series. This is actually kind of cute. Like, she clearly understands them, but she's just amused with their arguing as they try to figure this out. They're such novices. It's really cute. Man, she's lucky that they ended up being so nice. I love how simplistic this story is. It's very basic, has a very simple structure, not not a lot that's too complicated about it. But it shows that in its simplicity, the story can be still quite effective. How much do you guys think they paid the ducks for this scene? How many duck extras do they have to hire? Dude, in the winter, that would be so cold. No, Joe, don't manhandle the duck. Oh my god. I never noticed that. I never noticed. Michael Landon literally puts the duck like in his mouth. How did I not see that before? Oh my gosh. Like he was chewing on its neck. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I never spotted that. Dang, Joe does know how to cook a mean duck dish, though. That looks great. Duck's actually quite good. In a strange way, this episode kind of feels like Like you're running errands with Hoss and little Joe. You know, you're just tagging along. Now, as they go through these basic routines of catching the ducks for dinner and then the rabbits in order to get the rabbit pelts and all that stuff, like it's just nice. You looked like a hog stuck by a porcupine quill. It's very specific, little Joe. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, that's such a cute baby. I can't deal with this. This is just way too pure. I baby 22-year-old Michael Landon holding a baby. Oh my gosh. Stop. My heart is melting. She's like, whoop, that's not what I wanted to hear. Also, like, what did you do? I don't know why that line delivery makes me laugh. He just says it so seriously. This boy's father's a white man. God, that whole look, the snow and the mountains on the trees, that's just such an aesthetic. Come to the Midwest, Joe, where it snows for like 5 months out of the year. I like the music there. It got a little creepy and ominous. This has been worrying you like a hound dog with a burr in his rump. Joe's like, aggression. She'll understand that. You know, we're 15 episodes in now, and I think that we're finally starting to see these characters smooth out a little bit. Becoming themselves, is what I mean. Although, to be fair, I understand little Joe's frustration. It's like, hey, we literally helped you deliver your baby. We took care of you. Yeah. This episode is very nicely paced. It felt pretty even. Like, it didn't feel too long, but it didn't feel too short either. You go, Hoss. Aw. I liked that. I liked that a lot. I love the character differences. between all three guys, they're all so vastly different in their personalities. I wonder how cold it was that day when they were filming. I wonder how many looks the costume department went through before they came to like Haas's outfit design, like getting to that iconic cowboy hat. That's so cool. Why did they ever get rid of those jackets, man? All right, Adam. Love that outfit. Green jacket, red shirt, black vest, blue bandana. Dig that outfit. Somebody teach me that whistle, please. That's awesome. I'm surprised she even made it this far. I mean, you just had a baby girl. Darn. It's pretty impressive. Seriously, I wonder if those are just noodles. His facial expressions are fantastic. Did you put that there? Yeah, he did it to freak you out, Haas. That's kind of scary, actually. I mean, being asleep and then people being around you, and then they don't kill you, that's almost more unsettling. I love these shots in the woods. The camera shots, not the literal gunshots. Oh, like that is just such a nice aesthetic. Little Joe tripping down the mountain there. That made me a little nervous. The parents are here. Like that was just such a parent look. Uh, Adam is the second parent. He's literally like Ben's like right hand man. Like he parents little Joe and Hoss. It's so funny. Adam laughing in the background there is funny. Hop Sing's frustration. Hop Sing is constantly dealing with all their shenanigans, so that's a cute line. Aw, and them fussing over the baby is sweet. Haas is like, give credit where credit is due, man. I delivered that child. Just like, I helped. Oh, this is so sweet. I can't deal with this. This is just, oh, it's so pure. We need to talk about Ben's jacket, though. That jacket, gosh, everybody was so stylish in this episode. I really, really dig that look. So, like, regal. He looks very distinguished in it. God, she passed so quick. Oh. You don't want to be at the butt end of Hop Sing's wrath. He is constantly dealing with everybody's shenanigans. Honestly. Even these gentlemen, look at their jackets. So fancy. The clothing department just popped off in this episode. Everybody gets a great jacket. They're like, what's the generalized look for this story? Everybody just gets a fire jacket. Look at those ties, like the bows, the blue and red bows. Like beautiful Christmas presents. Fair question. You weren't even man enough to stand up to your own father, Jason? Man, Jason, you're a bit of a wimp. Hence explaining her silence towards Hoss and Joe? Question mark. It's a great reading from the Bible. There's something about the way that Lorne reads. Oh, I never noticed that Adam's hand lingers on his gun. He moves his hand to his holster very slowly after he looks up in alarm. It's very, very good reading from the Bible. I love this. Hoff sings, the way he looks at Jason is fantastic. He has his arms around the baby, and then he, like, his body language moves away from Jason like, I don't trust you. Get away from this baby. It's cute. Hoff seems like, we're gonna seriously let this baby go with this loser? Music kind of sounds ominous. All right. I gotta be honest with you guys. I almost wish it was Haas and or Joe who handed off the baby to Jason. Or Jason at least saying something to Haas and Joe, being like, I heard you guys delivered my baby. Thank you. Like, it would have been nice to give that nod to Haas and Joe, because the episode is Haas and Joe centric, but then it kind of shifts towards Ben and Jason and Kyle, and then the debate around the baby and the Shoshone woman, which is, it's fine. They needed to tie the episode together, but I would have liked at least one final nod towards Haas and Joe, like, thank you for taking care of my wife. Thank you for making sure my baby was delivered safely. Something like that would have been nice, but it's not a huge deal. Yeah, that was a great episode. I really, really liked it a lot. You get to see Haas and Little Joe's dynamic play out very nicely. You get to see their resourcefulness as characters. You get to see how they both individually respond to this situation that they've been put in. You get to see how they disagree in certain areas. It's a really nice exploration of their characters. You present a problem for the characters, and then you explore how the characters would respond to that situation in their own way. And I think that this episode does that very, very well. Chana Eden, she had a silent role. She didn't really say much. She just gave a couple facial expressions, so not very much to say about her. Loved Dan Blocker and Michael Landon in this. They both gave such natural performances. They have a very good dynamic together. Nothing about it feels forced. The relationship feels very realistic, older brother, younger brother dynamic. It was a good episode to hang out with Haas and Joe's characters and get to know them better. So I think I appreciated the episode most for that. My favorite scene is the scene where they're about to deliver the baby and they go from being really calm to really panicked. They start yelling at each other and they start freaking out. I really liked that. Like, they're both so scared. They're like, how do we help this woman? I thought that was very sweet. My least favorite scene is, like I just said, that scene in the end. I wanted one final nod towards Haas and Little Joe and how they helped the lady, and it would have been nice coming from Jason, but it's fine. Yeah, I mean, overall, guys, I think that this was a really nice episode. I think it had great pacing. I thought it was super chill. A great way to get to know Haas and Little Joe as characters. You really see the character development coming through. Now you're starting to see how they act, their relationship to each other. It's like you run errands with these characters. It's just like you feel like you're tagging along for the ride, and it's really pleasant because of that. Yeah, you know what? Not much to say. This episode was very basic and simplistic in its execution, but I feel that it was done very well, and it was very enjoyable overall. What are your thoughts on this episode? Did you like the ending, or do you feel like they kind of made a story switch, or am I nitpicking it too much? Do you guys like episodes paced like this? Do you like episodes that are a little bit more slow, that take their time? I really like them because it allows you to form relationships with the characters. So please let me know what you think about this episode, its pacing, its story. You can email me at yeehawbonanzapod@gmail.com if you want to write me any thoughts so I can read them on the show. Or you can drop a comment on my YouTube channel on this video at yeehawbonanzapod. I would love to hear any and all thoughts. Or if you would like to leave me a positive review on Apple Podcasts and let me know what you think of the show so far, I would love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Thank you so much for watching today's episode with me, and I will see you next week when we watch El Toro Grande, I think is the episode's name. So I hope you guys will join me next week for El Toro Grande. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing rest of your week. Take care, and I will see you in the next episode. Have a great day, guys.